There. All right, let's try this. Let's do this now. Oh, come on. Turn this ahead. Oh, I'm wasting time. Hi, I'm Sailor Moon, and I'm Sailor Venus. And today we're going to talk about something that usually haven't talked about that much on his YouTube channel. Now, on YouTube, I know that when you we're going to talk about why we used to make a lot of movies and why we only pushed back to doing one a day. Now, when we first came on YouTube, this is around 2008 AD. We didn't even have any type of likeness taker and movie maker yet. And it wasn't until December of that year that we got one. Now, the point to why we made a lot of movies was, I guess there was the idea, and still, the win that you could make a movie and put it on YouTube and others could see it. And we just made a lot of them because that's what our mood was back then, to make a lot of them. And I guess that's what set us apart from everybody else on YouTube at that time. Now, we did that on Sailor Moon Red and Sailor Moon Red 1 and Sailor Moon's Best 1 and Sailor Moon's Best 2 and Sailor Moon on Tube, and Sailor Moon on YouTube and Sailor Moon Red 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we finally made Sailor Moon Tube 11, we said, okay, that's it. We're only going to do one a day. And I guess in our head, we thought if we only did one movie a day, that would free the rest of the day up for everything else we had to do. But at the same time, we also believed that that would also make it where our movies would get more watch time or more views. But it turns out that the more watch time and the more views didn't come, But it is what it is at that point. Now, I know what also others are thinking, Sailor Venus said. As Sailor Moon put it, yes, we used to make a lot of movies on YouTube. Now, every day. And I'm sure somebody out there was making more than we were back then. The exact number of uploads, we don't really know. But as far as this YouTube channel went, we're at the 900s. Maybe we're in the 2000s by now. Anyway, the point goes is that we used to make a lot of movies every day. Not every single hour, but certain hours of the day on Sailor Moon Red before it got hacked, and Sailor Moon Red 1 before the flagging started, and Sailor Moon's Best 2, Sailor Moon's Best 1 before the suspension, and Sailor Moon Tube, Sailor Moon's Best 2 for the suspension, for the termination actually, say what it was, the ending, and Sailor Moon on YouTube for the suspension, and Sailor Moon Red 1, 2, 3, 4 before we got nailed again. And then we decided we were just going to do a movie a day. And as Sailor Moon put it, we thought that if we did this, it would free us up for the rest of the day. And then we thought the view time would get better, the watch time would come, more views and more watch time. But that turned out not to be true. It turned out that our watch time and our views was going to be whatever they were going to be, and it didn't matter what we did or didn't do. So let that be a little lesson to anyone out there who thinks that maybe that's what you need to do to get your watch time up or your views. And it didn't work for us, but who knows, it might work for you. Now, Sailor Venus is right about a lot of things. Why we did what we did back then. Why we made a lot of movies. but also the idea that, you could make a movie, put it on YouTube, and some could see it. Now, some might like it, some might not like it. That was the game. That was what you had to. That's what you had to deal with if you put a movie up there, and that's still what you got to deal with. But the point to why we made a lot of movies a day is we actually thought that was why we did. We actually enjoyed it, and we still do. We just thought if we did one movie a day, it would free us up for everything else we could do that day. And it didn't really do that much for our watch time or views. They still are what they are. No, you're right, Sailor Moon. We still have a lot of movies up on this YouTube channel in 5 years it's been around. And probably one day might surpass the number of uploads that Sailor Moon Red had before it got hacked. And the number of movies that Sailor Moon Red 2, Sailor Moon's Best 1, Sailor Moon's Best 2, Sailor Moon on YouTube, and Sailor Moon Red 1, 2, 3, 4 would have had if they had still sticked around and not had gotten, suspended or terminated or, what happened. And we assure you that we didn't do anything wrong to have that happen. But it is what it is. So, as I'll say, tell you why we like, for any of the old followers, and there might be some of them, but for any new ones, why we used to make a lot of movies on our first YouTube channels. I'm Sailor Moon, I'm Sailor Venus, see you later.